Hello, it is I, Coral, and I am back to tell you about the tale of another game of top lane Yorick. I have been enjoying a lot of Yorick in the end of season. I would have been enjoying it in the middle of the season too, wouldn't have mattered who I was playing it on. But Yorick is a very interesting pick. And here we see a perfect case example of exactly why it is. Considering today is today, this means the Yorick game already dropped. So, we get a perfect demonstration of exactly the kind of opens that I'm talking about that I want to see from my lanes. Unfortunately, our team is not good, so we have a mid lane Gangplank that is not watching and blocking the invade, but notice that the Cassiopeia is blocking the invade. Even though she's not putting a ward in that brush, she is blocking the invade in such a way that it's covered. Their team is covering all the entrances and opens. We have ours closed and open because I am blocking it from here, and I immediately go there, because unless they're going to cross over through the jungle, there's not a very high likelihood that, specifically for Karthus, he's going to path the way that he would. Because unfortunately, this is a Karthus slash... there's a lot of things to describe this. So we have Lee Sin jungle, so Lee Sin wants to start red, right? But then we have a Karthus with him. So technically the secret carry here in this game is technically the Karthus, but we're going to see about that. We're going to see about that. So, put the ward down, immediately move to the top side, and we have to decide how we're going to play this based on how our enemy laner chooses to open. I choose to start with the Q. I don't know what he chose to start with. I think he chose to start with his Q. But, Yorick is a bit like the idea of old Yorick and new Yorick, in that they are both people who are zone of control front lines. However, where Yorick is a disruption Zoc threat, Yorick is a pushing Zoc threat. He's an AD caster who wants to use his auto attack resets to fuck with people. Now, Sion does something really smart here, which is he's putting his body on top of the minion, so that it's harder for me to get it, while also putting me in threat of getting hit by his proc of Grasp. This doesn't matter, because I'm looking for the sweet open that we look for every time. Dirty Mobs has his call about being in between two tentacles. I have my call about jumping with 4 minions. In this situation here in this lane, versus any lane, even shit lanes like Teemo, which I got one cooking up for that right now. Winning these matchups with these champions, the thing that you need to do is you need to ignore the pushing that they're doing. And you need to just continue getting your gold. Because if they're going to push you in, okay, that's fine. I'll live under my tower. But I will be getting these graves down. And I will be getting as much gold as I possibly can. Because I'm trying to keep myself nice and healthy. Wait for the shield to come off. And, yeah, boy, RD. Put this man on the wall, slap him on his head. He is getting hit with the full force of the undead army, and we now have a stacked Conqueror. This is very dangerous because minions from my kit will give me my adaptive power. It makes you very, very scary, very, very fast. Make him take a choice between if he wants to hit me in the wave. He decides he doesn't want to pull the trigger. Clear in the wave. I don't know what he does here. I guess he actually did choose to take the Cheater's Recall, which is very strange. It's not going to help him. Namely because now he's going to lose out, because I'm going to slowly push this back to him. I'm going to try to freeze it as much as I possibly can. But we're going to let this slow push back. Unfortunately, did not get the last minion on that. Rip my perfect CS. We summon the ghouls, so we can slowly push this back in. Not too fast, but not too slow. Just slowly taking the time. He comes back in, fresh with potions. I say, hello, motherfucker! Walk back over. Let the minions beat his ass for a bit. Keep the man healthy. Start stacking up the graves again. Keep autoing this, because unfortunately versus Sion, I cannot outbeat his push. He will always be able to clear and stopgap whatever I do versus him. However, we are not letting him have push for free, and I am definitely pushing his ass in. Get off my own recall after getting more gold than him. First item from me is going to be Hearthbound Axe, because I immediately want to go in and try and fuck with him. But then I think about it, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, I don't want that. let me do something different. You're gonna see what it is. Let's speed it up. Run back to lane. I am a little bit way off of my 6. He's gonna get his 6 before I do on the next minion wave. I have to wait for all these to collect. I walk the minions. He should have never let me do this. I walk the minions to the side so they stay out of the range of the tower. So now he's stuck here. This is specifically to be able to fuck with him, because now he's in front of my shit, and I get to start beating his ass because he has no mana. Start stacking those graves up. Farm. I have to position like this because if I walk up too close, I could just get pinched off for a Lee Sin gank. I'm hyper aware of it, even though Lee Sin's all the way on the other side of the map. I don't know that, so I play as though he is not there. Unfortunately, did not get either grave there on either minion. I'm super sad. He tries to go for a back, and I immediately notice this, so I walk his ass all the way back because I want this frozen. I don't even care if I miss the minion there. Getting the freeze here is more important. So he gets his back off, and I start freezing. The purpose of this is to keep him from having his ability to do anything. He's built armor and armor, while I've built life and damage. This means, in terms of DPS, I will out-trade him the next time I see him. Let the minions do the job. And as you notice there, man's still taking damage, even though he had shield up. It's a lot of damage to the shield to go through. And you see I'm positioning like this because, hey, look, there's a Lee Sin. But I hold my ultimate. Because now that I've shown that Lee Sin is topside, I need him in a position so we can fuck this man. Unfortunately, Fiddlesticks is very slow. He is one of the many bad junglers I get. Now I start experimenting with some lane tech here. I realize that the nudging effect that can be used to knock off the shield from the Scuttle Crab can also be used to disrupt Sion's entire ability pattern. So, use this to fuck with him. Try to force a rotation from the Lee Sin again. Sion decides that he wants to fuck with the Maiden, which a lot of laners, if they're smart, they will target the Maiden before they target you. Lee Sin tries it again. I gap in such a way where they can't fight me. They take my Maiden, but unfortunately, I am still safe. So, Lee Sin decides to go in to get the objective. Literally on wards, you're about to watch this play, is goofy as shit, because he was not at all fucking hiding this shit whatsoever. And it's goddamn abysmal that it happened, because it is what it is. But, literally on wards, calling him, and look where Fiddlesticks still is. The difference between map awareness and map blindness. I can't do anything to stop it. Now he decides to come over. It's already been taken. Cassiopeia picks up the Herald. I can't go into that because I don't have a Maiden and I don't have any abilities, and I certainly don't have any ghouls. Ghouls are living, love, and life. And the reason why ghouls are living, love, and life, just pause it here so I can show you. Rising the Graves, every 6 minus part of ability haste seconds for enemies dying that's near him. Always leaving minions for champions and large monsters. Graves being used to summon Mistwalkers, but look at the damage that's on them. Then, look at the effect of Morning Mist. Targets will take 40% increased damage from up to 8 attacks from Mistwalkers. 4 times 2 attacks equals, I'll do the quick math for you, about 400 to 500 damage. If I don't have ghouls, and that's just the maximum output, not necessary for it to be maximum, but that's the idea. Without my ghouls, and because of how long the cooldown is, literally fucking 12 seconds, I have to be very careful about when I choose to engage and when I choose not to engage. Because if this shit is down for a major team fight, I'm out of it. Now, usually I like to max the Morning Mist second. I thought about maxing it first sometimes versus some tank matchups, but it doesn't work very well. You really need that attack power in your Qs, because if you don't have it, you're gonna have a hard time fucking auto-attacking. Focus all that shit in there. Focus the damage in there. Put together a build that is able to keep you alive, and then throw a W max so that they have to get through more points of health on your wall. It's very important for situations where people are alone. Now, I notice that the Sion uses his shit in the mid lane, and I decide to start pushing. Push shit into his tower. He comes back to try and stop me, and this man's not going to have a fun time. Use this as my opportunity to back, because now I have the Walker again. I'm trying to wait until I have level 2 ultimate, so that I can use my shit, but I see an opportunity to push Scion off the wave, and I decide, you know what? It's about to be chilly up here. I'm freezing it. Unfortunately, because of the way that Yorick is designed, it is very, very hard to freeze with him unless you actively deny yourself the use of your gravestones. You notice here, I'm choosing not to cast them until I know where he is, because I don't want it to push yet. I use it here because I misclicked. Let me start autoing it in, because now I have a wave pushing in. I have a wave that's going to meet behind that one. I set myself up for success. I walk over. This man comes back to the lane. I use that to interrupt his slam, and I slam into his head to start beating on his health pool. Get the next E on him again. Position myself in such a way until I know where Lee Sin is, and now I see Lee Sin is bottom. So now I'm just starting to stack up minions on the wave on the backside. He wants to try and stop me from doing this, but he actually can't stop me. Accidentally shorted my dust there. Now I'm waiting for the next wave, letting it push in again. Summon these, trap him in, beat his ass. Do the exact same thing again. Keep getting the gold, keep getting my farm. They're still fighting 4v4 bottom. I'm having a siege fest with him up top. Now I have my level 2 ultimate. Get the dust on top of him. I'm slowly pushing his ass in, and he will have to back at some point. I'll wait for that opportunity to come, because I know once he takes it, I have the tower free. I see that he's backed. Summon the maiden. They got the objective bottom side, and they were also able to kill the support. So now that I have my maiden out, it's time for me to go collect the map. Fiddlesticks is certainly clearing his top side, so I bounce this over, telling him, come here, come here, come here, come here. We try to get the flank on him, but because he went slow and decided to do his red first, he just ults out. He tries to walk out, put this on top of him, start beating on his head. Unfortunately, I get gapped by Cassiopeia, because they just decided the play was over. And I'm going to rewind this really quick, because I want you to notice why this goes so poorly. There's a reason why I die there. Can you see it? If not, let me slow it down for you. The reason why I die there is because Ezreal decided to go this way. This man thought, hey, let me path towards the blue side. That's the best place for you to be. Oh, wait, we fighting? Ah, oh, bro, let me get that dank kill, though, bro. Come on, man. This happens way too fucking often, and it's very, very annoying every single time it happens. He gets cucked by the shield. Now he's getting walked in by 3. Man is trying to still chase for the shit instead of just giving it up. He's still getting chased. He barely gets clipped by the zap. Gangplank is there to try and protect him because he was late to the play. And I get to sit in the base like a fucking idiot. First things first, coming right back out. Immediately teleport to the top lane and collect my gold, because I'm not in the mood for this shit. Now we have rank 4 wall, which gives us the ability to start keeping them in sooner, because we'll have the final stack on it. Because on level 5 it goes to 4. Top side play. This play was extremely bungled, and in order for me to demonstrate this, we're going to have to slow it down really, really fast. This play went poorly because he did not use this correctly, and I will show you why. So, top side. Fiddlesticks is being told by me, go behind the tower, lay this here, and then walk away. Instead, he steps up. So now, this entices the Lee Sin to try and counterplay this. This is not a 2v2 I want to take, because I know that he is not thinking. Now, Scion dashes past. I'm stuck up here at Lee Sin. I try to put my DPS on Lee Sin. We can't get to him because he has flash, because he's never been forced to use his flash. And now I get my ass beat by Cassiopeia, because my mid laner's not here. He's bottom side. And Gangplank isn't here. He's mid lane. This play goes poorly for everybody. The only person who gets out, I think, is Nautilus. It's just poor. Just all the way around poor. This is not how you use this objective. It's not how you use Herald, ever. You never blind it in front of the tower unless you know that tower is a goner anyways. It was definitely not. It was a misplay by all accounts, and he should be fucking ashamed of himself. So, on this build, first item, Hole Breaker. This is so that I can be able to fuck with the man. Then, next item, Last Whisper, immediately into Shireldra's Grudge, because this is a gore-drinking, abusing Lee Sin, and I don't want to see him have armor, ever. And at the same time, I'm going to need it to deal with this Frostfire Gauntlet, this motherfucker, because he's going to get really annoying really fucking fast. Gonna need to have the Shireldra's Grudge, because fortunately, Shireldra's makes it so that your ability damage, namely your passives, anything that is accounted as an effect on your character, will slow. And fortunately for us, for our build, that not only includes the Maiden, but also includes the minions. So, starting to stack my fucking army up, because I'm gonna need them before I do anything. Get my 4 men out. Unfortunately, one of the side effects of the minion AI of the wave is that once the ghouls are lost to the wave, they will not follow you anymore. So, summoning these up, and I'm laying a bunch of Farsights all over the map, because in this situation, I need to see Lee Sin's rotations if he's ever coming for me ever. They have decided to leave a Yorick alone topside, which is a very dangerous thing, because now I'm going to do my split pushing thing, and we're going to slowly walk this shit into their base. I'm telling them they're alone in that fight, because I don't have any teleport to assist them, so they better fucking win. I'm calling for them to continue assisting, because now I'm sieging. Calling for them to do the dragon. They are having themselves a scrap fest with Lee Sin. Lee Sin unfortunately takes one. Then we start taking Lee Sin's jungle. Path over to the mid lane. Start pushing in the mid lane. Look to see what Cassiopeia does. She does not try to go for us, nor does she go for the Maiden. So I bump over here. I was thinking about playing for this Jinx if she walked back up, but Jinx did not play forward. That's to her detriment. She sends a rocket to the bottom lane to try and get a kill, but she misses. Immediately pushes back in topside, because they're still playing bot side. I have a teleport now, but I'm just going to start backing, because now I have my item. Get Shireldra's Grudge on the map, because now I need to start stacking health. In most matchups, unfortunately, because of the Yorick build path, it makes it really hard to do anything. Nautilus is spam rage pinging me, but I don't hear them because we do mute/all. Helps with your mental. And now I'm taking the top side because I'm going to need it. I need it for the gold, but more importantly, I need it so that I can be able to fuck with them. Immediately block off the Lee Sin's choice, and I'm like, hey ho, bitch, what you doing? He does not like my damage, so I pop the Ghost, but unfortunately he had his team behind him, so we don't get to fight that. So we were able to keep the vision control of the top side jungle, specifically over the Baron Pit, which is what I wanted. They start doing their ARAMing thing, because they don't actually see anything. They put a Farsight on top of the Baron, and I'm just going to see how Sion reacts to me. Sion immediately walks away from me, because he did not like the Tickle Fest I gave him the top side. And I'm looking at the map, and I'm calling out to them that the play to do here is we need to split them apart. So they choose to go for the 4v4. I am matching off with Sion for my for my duel. I am beating his ass. Ever so slowly, though. He uses his ultimate, which means now he can't chase me with his team. Karthus comes up, he tries to fuck with him. Looks here, I'm going to have to make the sacrifice play to fuck with him, because he's still trying to fight me. Unfortunately, Karthus walked away, and my Maiden just had a little bit of life left on it. So after I kill Sion, Sion decides to, give it a hands! Now, push back into the top side. I never left, they just decided to forget about me. Here comes Lee Sin, looking for a kick. I throw the dust on his head. He uses his shield. Very annoying to be able to survive it. And I just start taking his top side again, because I need minions. Put my Farsight behind myself to ward as I'm going. Looking to see what's here. Nothing's here, so I walk out. Fail to push the shield on the Rift Scuttler. Take the Farsight. Come back up here, and I am mirroring him, and I am specifically mirroring this because I want this guy to die. He dies free here if they just come. I am rage pinging them at this point to basically get them to do what I want. Sion uses his flash to try and get out of this. He then uses his channel. He barely lives because he's able to teleport out. If Ez had used his ability we would have been able to pinch that, but unfortunately, the man lives, he goes to his team to Dragon, they lose the Dragon, because if you notice, during this play, when this man gets his escape out, Ez is here, Gangplank is here, they just chose not to come, and Nautilus gave up just at that moment as he teleported away. So, they have 4-man bot side ahead of time, and they were never at all thinking that Dragon would be aggressed. Fiddlesticks tries to go into the flash steal, and he fails it. He gets run down and gets his ass beat because you're still a fucking Fiddlesticks jumping into a Lee Sin. What are you doing? But we're able to pick up the quad because of the insanity, and in that insanity, Gangplank gets himself a pentakill kill. It's feeling really fucking slappy. Meanwhile, I'm still doing my job. I'm still whooping the ass. I'm still taking the towers. And I'm still being a menace. I'm letting up. I'm taking a shit. I have enabled my team in order to do their job by absorbing the pressure topside. What? They let the Maiden walk it out. We kill the Scion. They no longer have the front line. They're trying to walk us out of the base. I try to do some cheesy play on them. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out the way I wanted to. Tank all their ability damage. And I just keep walking because I have too much health to be able to be killed by it. They never have me in execution range, and I'm not scared of them. And I know how much punishment I can take. They have a double inhib pushed into the bottom side, and since we're already bottom side, we're going to take the bottom side objective now, absorbing everything again. Amazingly, it is funny that I was able to make it this far with just Hullbreaker and Shirelges, but hey, it is the build that could, it is the build that could. Now we get the boys, and we're stacking the gold, we're getting the fangs, and we're keeping it good and clinking and zushing. We start to back, and then we buy ourselves a handy-dandy Trinity. We buy ourselves some armor. And now we're walking them in because I want to look to end because I think it's going to die soon. So, I call them to come do the Baron. We're topside and I'm looking for picks. I know that Cassiopeia is here. Run her ass down. Because of my ability damage, because of my ghouls, she gets jumped. And just to prove my point about the ghoul damage, we're going to watch that again. Watch this positioning on how Cassiopeia is getting flanked. I know that she's here. She doesn't realize that we saw her on vision. She's trying to channel. She decides she wants to go for this objective. I'm coming in hot. I pop the ghost. She sees. Get one auto attack. Get a Q. I'm stunned. The dust already landed. Boop 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 boop. Every time. It's funny. Every time. It's even funnier on Flash Plays, because you can get the minions to go right over walls. Funniest shit I ever seen. So, with the Cassiopeia dead, they no longer have a range threat versus us. They only have one mage, and unfortunately that mage is not near me. They're over here pushing in the wave, because I know that the shit's here. I get off a cheeky ward kill versus the Jinx over the wall. I don't have any minions, so there's not like I can threaten anything. I'm just standing here specifically to block the Lee Sin. I don't want him to realize that we're doing this Baron. They don't see any of us on the map, and they don't have the gumption to press anything to check this. I know that he has a ward in this brush, so I'm literally just standing here, chilling. He puts his Q on me. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not moving, though. I ain't going nowhere. I continue standing here. This man is still flabbergasted by me. What is he doing? Who is this man? Who do you think you are? Comes back over, throws another Q. I throw a fucking E at his head. Finally, they begin to check this. Lee Sin tries to walk in to stop. I'm like, nope, denied. He Qs to my maiden. I'm like, nope, denied. Baron's ours. Thank you, goodbye. We leave with our transaction. They start trying to rage follow. They don't get anything. We circle around them because, hey, they're standing in a choke. That's the last place we saw them. Hey, you know what would be cool if I just went around you and went to the mid lane? Yeah, that'd be poggers. That'd be pretty poggers. I lose the minions to the wave. I see a handy-dandy raptor, and I use it to start stacking my ghouls again. Start moving down to the bottom side, because now we're doing rotational plays. Take away their brambles, and see Lee Sin try to walk into this. Unfortunately, he jukes the Dusk just by not being stupid. I somehow keep the Maiden here, because they didn't do any damage into her to kill her. Stand here again. Jinx is standing in this brush. I come up on the wall in such a way to scare and say, "Hey, Kaboo, how you doing?" I get rooted here, but it doesn't matter because there's a wall in front of them. Use the Sacrificial Maiden, has vision to see how many people are there. There are 3 people over the wall, so I'm like, okay, cool, no bueno. We're gonna walk this back. Go up to the top side to keep that from pushing in, because I'm not going to give them an opportunity to let it push in. Take some gold on the way, still continue building my item. I see the play coming in, so as they fight bottom, I just decide to go and take the inheritance. Like, why would I go there? Y'all pretty much dead anyways. So, take the inhibitors. Come in with the Baron buff. Smackety schmackety, waggity schmackety, waggity schmackety, waggity schmackety. Me and Wacky Sponkus ending the game for the team after they finally take in the tower. Game end. Even though I did not become a menace in that game, and a lot of the Yorick games I play, the most consistent thing for me to do there, with the waggity smackety, is to enable my team to make the plays. I bring the Lee Sin to the top side, I call out the Lee Sin's plays, I try to be a terror to them, I stop the Scion split push, and I consistently continue to terrorize the backline. In this matchup, I have to deal with the Karthus that's going to be constantly putting Qs on me every time I have to go through walking through the Wall of Pain, and a Cassiopeia who's going to stun me still so I cannot react and will walk my ass down with her 50 billion move speed after she gets her shit on me. Both of them are building to burn. I have to remember that. I don't have any MR in this situation with the onset of what I get from Hullbreaker. So all of my plays are positional plays. You look at the farm, you'll see that I'm severely ahead in gold compared to the laner. And that is by purpose. That is me taking everything that is not fucking tied down, even things from the top laner. In the top lane situation, I don't want to have to take farms from my jungler, but if the jungler keeps leaving the jungle up the way that they continue to do, or they just choose not to farm the top side, I'm taking the shit. There's no reason for me not to. That gold goes towards purposes, and that purpose was to enable the pentakill. Enabling that gangplank pentakill by burning their resources the way that we did, and constantly pushing the top side and threatening to take when they could not defend, as they chose not to defend as they did, was the way that we were able to win this game. There is no other if and or buts about it. A lot of those 15-3-17s, that 7-8-13, and that 17-7-9, those things are enabled by the plays that they're able to make because they don't have to bring resources to the top side. This is a little bit of some Dirty Mobs play. It is good, it is crisp, and it's the shit that I look for every single time I play Yorick. I try to do this with every laner I play, but sometimes you don't get the same results. It's a bit of a patience play, being able to play the champion, but I try to make it work out for the best. I think it's good. Besides that, that is the end of the video, and as ends the video, so does my time. I'm the kid. I am your boy Carl, and I will see you again. Goodbye, everybody. And don't bust that nut yet. I got another video coming right up.